What's up, everybody? My name is Erin, and welcome to the Mad Maker Studio, and welcome back for part 3 of Astrologaster. We're picking up with Amelia Lanier's section. I'm not sure how long this game goes, but I'm enjoying myself. I can see where they put in like little bits of humor, and I mean, as far as I can tell, everything they're delivering has been highly historically accurate. But don't quote me on that because I've not backtracked and fact-checked any of this. But from what I know, just in past years of schooling and what they're presenting with me here, I mean, they did their research, and that is always a big plus in my book, especially when you tackle these historical types of games. So without further ado, we are one letter of recommendation in. We need 7 more to get our undeserved medical license from a college that we could not afford to go to. So, Miss Amelia Lanier, how may Simon Forman be of service to you today?
Good evening, Miss Lanier. What brings you?
I am come about my future, Dr. Forman. I wish to know whether I will find success as a writer of poems and plays. You can predict futures, can you not?
You, madam? A writer of poems and of plays? Forsooth, how verily remarkable.
Well, 'tis true most of us Bassanos and Laniers are musicians, but I have chosen a different path. I've lately begun a collaboration with a poet and playwright. Let us call him Mr. S. He is presently writing a play that takes place in northern Italy, and as I am of Italian heritage, he has asked me to help him write it.
How interesting. And does this collaboration betwixt you go well?
Right well, or so methinks. Indeed, Mr. S did suggest that I am full talented as a writer. Be not afraid of greatness, he told me. For once our play opens upon the London stage, our success will follow, as night follows day.
I see. Then what would you have me ask the stars, madam?
Well, I've noted that Mr. S, although a brilliant man, is oft prone to exaggerated melodrama and implausible plot resolutions. I wish to know whether this story of his, of our future success, is true.
Very wise of you, madam. Then let us see whether your success or failure is writ in the stars. Will Mistress Amelia Lanier find fame and fortune as a writer?
Oh, I hope she does. I'm rooting for her now. She's willing to throw shade at Willie Shakes. Will I be as successful as a writer? If Mistress Lanier mainstreams optimism, her ambitions will be realized. Not only will she be successful, her work will lead to transformative and surprising political changes. Mars domicile in Aries, this suggests victory. Uranus, this represents surprises in politics. Jupiter, this advises optimism. Pluto, this represents transformation. Mistress Lanier and her writing partner will work well together. Venus, this indicates cooperation. The stars urge Mistress Lanier to be more sensitive to the needs of her child. The moon exalted in Taurus, this advises sensitivity. Well, she said it herself last time. She's hired a wet nurse and a nanny to take care of her child for her, so she doesn't have to. So I doubt she's gonna feel any shame or compelled that she's not giving her child enough attention. This house warns of a legacy marred by deceit and jealousy. Oh, I just now noticed. Okay, Saturn in detriment in Leo, this tells of jealousy, and Neptune, this indicates deception. This is what I was afraid of in the back of my head. I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking of, oh, they're a writing partner, she's a woman. He's totally stealing from her. This speaks of Mr. S indulging in creative theft. Sun, this represents a man. Mr. S, Mercury, this indicates creativity. Oh, I'm at my first conundrum. B, not even an option, but A, I want to root for this woman. I really do. But I have a feeling if she goes down this path, he's going to steal from her. I don't want to see that happen. But then maybe Mr. S is too stubborn to think that anything is better than him.
It would seem Mr. S's confidence is not misplaced, for the stars foretell that if you have faith in your success, you will succeed. And your contribution to the world will reach beyond literature to be of great benefit to society.
So, in order to succeed, I must hold fast to a belief that I will succeed.
Just so, madam.
But what you are asking of me is right illogical, Dr. Forman. Indeed, 'tis an impossibility. How can I maintain a belief that my success is inevitable when you have just informed me that my success is conditional and contingent? As Aristotle teaches us
Mistress
in his...
Lanier, mayhap I have confounded you with the nuances of my astrological reading. All you need know is that the achievement of your goals is very likely. Indeed, 'tis indicated that your collaboration with Mr. S will be a fruitful one. Prithee, madam, look not for bad news among the good.
Aye, mayhap 'tis best I not overthink it, as you say. I thank ye, sir. Good even, Dr. Forman.
Oh, I want you to succeed, Amelia. The querent did wish to know whether her activities as a writer would bring her success. I did advise the querent that her collaboration with Mr. S was fruitful and would bring her success. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. So I'm approaching with this case in particular. I'm wondering how this is going to affect my gameplay moving forward, because now it's a matter of I want the letters of recommendation, but to get that, do I need to continue to tell my patients what they want to hear or what they need to hear? And I'm not going to know until I see Amelia again whether my advice was sound or not. I was really leaning toward option C, where Willie Shakes would steal from her. But I really wanted to root for this woman. If only I could forget what he said about my success being conditional. Phew. How would Euclid have solved this conundrum? Well, why don't you go ask him?
Mistress Avis Iron, the love of Forman's life, how futile 'tis to fall for another man's wife.
This is what I mean by, like, things affecting future gameplay. What if I had shut this woman down the last section? Would she be back here now, or would I be seeing someone else, or would the game end? Oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities. So far, this game is exceeding all of my expectations going in.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, madam. What service may I perform for you this day?
For me? None. None at all.
Verily. Then I cannot fathom why you...
'Twas my husband who bade me come, for he finds it difficult to speak of... As I say, he had me come in his stead, and I could think of no reason to give him for why I should not come.
I see. Then what is troubling your husband? Madam, I cannot treat a querent without knowing first what his troubles are.
He is unable to perform his marital duties.
I see. And whatever does that mean? Your husband forgets to put out the night soil? Some broken shelving he's neglected to fix? Prithee, madam, I bid you be more precise.
Oh, you know perfectly well what I mean, Simon. I bid you not drag this out any longer. Pray read the stars and let us get this over with.
As you wish, madam. Now, let us see. What ails Mr. Allen so as to render him unable to perform his marital obligations towards Mistress Allen?
Awkward. Oh man, this wordplay. My husband is unable to rise to the occasion when performing his marital duties. What ails him? There's my boy Aries. Mr. Allen suffers from a loss of carnal lust. Jupiter in retrograde, this suggests a deficiency of blood. Pluto in retrograde, the illness will get worse before it gets better. Uranus in retrograde, this suggests a mild enchantment cast by a witch. I must say no to all that. Bye, Aries. I love you, baby. We'll pick you soon one day, I hope. Mr. Allen suffers from cold in the heart. The sun domicile in Leo, this suggests the illness will be long-lasting. Neptune, this suggests a disturbance of the mind. And Saturn in detriment in Leo, this suggests a mild imbalance of black bile in the body. Mr. Allen suffers from a crick in the back. It is causing him pain in the hips and making it difficult to perform duties around the house. Simon is obviously stupid and would probably go with this, but Moon suggests the illness is temporary. Tricky, tricky. Okay, so, oh, maybe we do get to pick my boy Aries. I really don't like this thing over here. It says this suggests a mild enchantment cast by a witch, because I know it's using like astrology to diagnose medical concerns for patients. But still, even that has more merit than, "'Twas a witch, sir. 'Twas a witch that caused your problem." But I guess if it helps this man, you know, come to terms with his impotence, then sure, he was cursed by a witch.
Your husband is suffering from a lack of sanguinity in the brain, which has resulted in a loss of carnal lust. According to my chart, there is little hope of remedy.
Verily, no hope at all?
Nay, I'm afeard not.
Oh, then Mr. Allen is not, cannot be a full husband to me. At least not in the full, true sense of being a husband.
Precisely so. And as a physician, it behoves me to observe how unnatural and lamentable it is that a wife be so neglected.
Oh, Simon.
Oh, my darling Avis.
Oh no, I wonder if I just sealed Simon's fate going down this path instead of shutting it down, because now if they continue to see each other, knowing full well that Mr. Allen is, you know, unable to perform his marital duties, and then she turns up pregnant. Dude, we might not finish getting your letters of recommendation. The querent did come behalf of her husband, who it would appear does suffer from dysfunction of the privy member. I judged Mr. Allen as suffering from a loss of carnal lust and that it could not be remedied. This, I must own, was not entirely true. See, there were so many different options. It's getting harder to like narrow it down now, and it's getting a lot harder to see where exactly this game is going, because I get like this is the 4th time I've seen her. How many more new patients or repeat patients am I going to have? Methinks the querent is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. Oh my gosh, I think I just killed Simon. I don't know, man. I shall say 100 Hail Marys before bed this even, nay, 200.
was. Doctors against him do make war. Doctors against him do make war. He makes love without a care. 'Tis true, Avis is not his by law. But in love and war is fair. But in love and war is fair.
Playing a dangerous game, Simon. Not cool, dude.
Last even, 'twas like a dream. Never in my life have I felt so. Oh, my sweet Avis, 'tis true you are married, but surely a love as great as ours can transcend such earthly impediments. Dare I hope for... Nay, 'tis most unlikely. Or is it? Forsooth, there be no harm in asking the stars. Might Avis Allen one day be mine?
Oh, I'm really dreading this reading now. Will Avis and I ever be wed? Avis Allen's loyalties lie with her family. Moon, this represents a woman, Avis Allen. Avis has betrayed her marriage vows. The damage this has wrought upon her marriage cannot be undone, and her past cannot be erased. Represents betrayal. I may be optimistic, for Mr. Allen will suffer ill luck and die. Avis will then be free to marry me. Uranus in retrograde. This suggests a sudden change in direction. And Jupiter in retrograde. This advises optimism due to a reversal. And Pluto in retrograde. This represents a change of direction due to death. I am not seeing things clearly. If I knew the truth about our relationship, I would presently be seething with jealousy. The sun is domicile in Leo. This represents the truth. Saturn in detriment in Leo. This advises jealousy. Neptune, this indicates confusion. So he's having like second thoughts, some doubts. Avis is cunningly hiding a secret from me. Mercury, domicile in Virgo, this represents cunning. I don't think she's hiding anything from him. Avis Allen's loyalties lie with her family. I mean, her loyalties lie with her religion, not necessarily her family. I don't know anything about her family outside of Mr. Allen. I think this is what his desires are, but so if I'm playing as Simon, I think Simon would pick this option for himself.
It says, Avis is one day to be widowed, which will, of course, be very tragical. But after the grieving is done, we will marry. She will be Mistress Forman. Mistress Avis Forman.
Ooh, I think I just put him in a bad spot, you guys. Will Avis and I ever be wed? I judge that Mr. Allen would one day die, leaving Avis Allen free to marry me. It's making me cringe. I wonder how Avis will wish to furnish my house. Doubtless she will require the purchase of many cushions. Great. Okay, I didn't expect to see this dude back again.
Good day, Dean Blogg. Fare you well?
Most well indeed, and I will tell you why. The conquering cherub has lately returned home to England.
Ah, this being the voyage you did invest in.
Aye, and what a sound investment it was, for it has paid off most handsomely. The cherub's cargo of nutmeg and pepper will fetch a high price indeed. Forsooth, my earnings have enabled me to make a substantial investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World.
Ah, methinks I've heard of this. 'Tis a quest to find the fabled lost city of gold, is it not? Or, as the Spanish call it, El Dorado?
The very same, for it is said that El Dorado does lie deep within the rainforests of the southern parts of the New World, hiding vast quantities of gold and precious jewels. Hence, what I would have you tell me is, exactly how rich can I expect to be made from my investment?
I see.
For if I am to be made very rich, I am afeard that news of my fabulous wealth may cause some jealousy among the clergy. News travels fast around the diocese, and I think it wise to get ahead of it if I can.
Then let us consult the stars. What will become of Thomas Blagg's investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's quest to find El Dorado?
Will my investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to discover El Dorado pay off? I'm gonna say no, but let's see what the stars say first. Locke's finances will bring him unhappiness. The moon in detriment in Capricorn, this represents unhappiness. The expedition will encounter foreigners who are stubborn, confident, and lead by instinct. The sun domicile in Leo, this represents confidence. Saturn in detriment in Leo, this shows stubbornness. And Neptune, this represents instinct. Locke's business partners will be met with violence. Mars in detriment in Taurus, this suggests violence. There's cause for pessimism and a surprising reversal to save the lives of children. Jupiter in retrograde, this shows optimism in reverse, pessimism. Uranus in retrograde, this indicates a surprising reversal. Pluto in retrograde, this represents the inverse of death, life. Log will be able to leave his children a legacy of fine things. Venus, this represents fine things. And God rewards exploration. Mercury, domicile in Virgo, this represents curiosity. Oh, what do these answers mean? I mean, he's obviously worried about his reputation within the clergy. So I would think if he could play it off as, oh no, because you know, men of religion, men of God aren't supposed to, you know, have money. So, you know, God rewards exploration. Ooh. For me, I'm gonna go with option C just because, just based on this Mr. Blog coming to us, he's looking to save face and make a quick buck.
I am pleased to tell you, Dean Blagg, that your investment is secure. Indeed, this expedition will produce a fine legacy for you to leave your children. For, according to the stars, God has seen fit to reward England's conquering spirit of curiosity.
Is he allowed to have children? Did I mess it up?
Favors the expedition? Oh, praise be to the Lord.
Oh wait, they're in
for his
England.
blessings.
They're Protestant. Of course they can have
once
children.
you have received these blessings, Dean Blagg, I do hope you and Mistress Blagg will remember my years of service and friendship to you both. I have always endeavoured to,
Tush, Dr. Forman. Pray, let us not dwell on such vulgar subjects as money. For did we not at this moment learn that the discovery and conquest of this city is part of God's plan for the glory of our nation? The honor of having played my small part in it should be reward enough for us both.
I'm imagining him sliding me a letter of recommendation right now. The querent did wish to know the fate of his investment in an expedition to El Dorado, the fabled city of gold. I did tell the querent that the expedition would be successful. Methinks the querent was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Oh, I guess I have to bump it up to 100 before I get my letter of recommendation. Okay, I see how it is now. Ugh, this guy again. Starting to think Ferraro isn't his real name. And he's not really from Venice.
Good morrow, sir, and well met.
Indeed, 'tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to the great Dottore Simon Forman.
Aye, and I can see why you are come. Methinks you are not well, signor. The colour of your face is quite alarming.
It is because I am losing the blood. The blood does drain away from my face, way down my body, and out of my...
You are bleeding from your fundament. How much have you been bleeding, and for how long?
Un poco, not too much. It does come and go. Sometimes blood, sometimes no blood. You stop the blood, see?
Mayhap I will, but first I must consult the stars to find a diagnosis. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
I am bleeding from my fundament. What ails me? Signor Ferraro has hemorrhoids, which are swellings in the anus and rectum. Blind hemorrhoids cause pain, whereas open hemorrhoids are apt to bleed. The moon falling in Scorpio, this suggests the illness will not last long. Signor Ferraro suffers from jaundice. A blockage in Signor Ferraro's neck has caused choler to pool in his head, turning his face yellow. He did come in looking a little pale, and if there's one thing this guy has taught me the last time he came here is he's trying to stump us. Mars in detriment in Taurus. This represents a mild imbalance of yellow bile color in the blood. It's like he's coming in and giving us false symptoms so we diagnose him incorrectly so he gives us a bad reputation. Take that, signor.
I am afeard you have jaundice, signor. You must be purged of this excess of choler directly. I advise taking a hot bath, into which you must add an ounce of vinegar. Be sure to breathe deeply of the vapors that do arise from it.
How did you... Molto
I
bene.
knew it.
I will take this bath that you advise. But what of the blood that is coming from out of my nethers?
Oh, worry not over that, signor, for 'tis a most natural and healthsome process. Your body is merely attempting to purge itself of corrupted choleric blood, much the same as does occur in a woman's nethers each month. But a man has what are called hemorrhoids for this purpose.
Are you sure? That is your final answer?
Indeed it is. I do assure you, signor, 'tis the very latest medical thinking on the subject of hemorrhoids. You are welcome to procure a second opinion, but I warrant you will find that most doctors in London will tell you the same.
Then Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day, Signor Forman.
Okay, here's my new theory. That's Signor Ferraro. That is not his real name. I think he's the doctor from the college whose name I've already forgotten. I think that's him, and he's in disguise, and he's trying to test us to see if, like, we're cracked up to be. So, that's what I'm leaning on, Tout. And I want to see more of him. Come on, bring it on, dude. The querent did present with the symptom of bleeding from the fundament. I did diagnose jaundice and prescribed a vinegar bath. I explained to the querent that the bleeding from his hemorrhoids was not but the corrupted blood from his liver being downwardly purged. Methinks the querent was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. See? Forman is good, mayhap too good. He's totally the— look, that crooked mustache. He can't even wear a fake mustache correctly. I'm gonna put $5 whole on it that is the college, the doctor school.
This woman has a gift for words. If only she had riches words, they'd probably be much better words. Though written by Our Lady.
Was that some sexist shade that the singers were throwing there? Not cool.
Did you see that?
See what, madam?
Your querent, Signor Ferraro, scuttling away from me like a frighted rabbit. What have I ever done to upset the man? All I did was wish him buongiorno as I passed him at the door.
Verily, Signor Ferraro's behaviour does sound full strange. But let us not think of him, but of the matter that brings you hither, Mistress Lanier. How do you fare?
I fare most well, in the main. For you spoke true when you said my collaboration with Mr. S would be fruitful. 'Tis going exceeding well. Verily, Dr. Forman, I would be right content with my lot at present if it were not for the trouble I am come about this day.
Pray, tell me of this trouble, madam.
I am being prowled. Oftentimes in the night I see him following me home. One time methinks I even caught him looking at me through my window. I would have you tell me who this prowling man might be.
A prowler? How very worrisome. Can you describe this man to me?
Nay, for 'tis always at night that I spy him, and I have always been too frighted for my eyes to linger upon him very long.
Then let us see what light the stars can shed upon the identity of this man who hides himself in darkness. Who is the man prowling Mistress Lanier?
Interesting. Who is the mysterious man prowling me? The prowler is a violent husband. Ooh, I don't like that. Mars in detriment in Taurus. This suggests violence. The prowler hopes for a reversal of the ill luck he has had with Mistress Lanier. He harbors a misguided hope that she will perform her wifely duties and resume intimate relations with him. That's right, she was pregnant before she got married. Jupiter in retrograde, this suggests misguided optimism. Uranus in retrograde, this indicates a reversal in fortune. Pluto in retrograde, this shows a return to sexual intimacies. I think it's her ex. Mistress Lanier is suffering mental confusion owing to her religious beliefs. She also harbors an unjustified level of mistrust toward prospective romantic partners. What? No. Venus, this suggests romantic partners. Saturn in detriment in Leo, this indicates mistrust. Neptune, this reveals confusion. No, I don't think it's that. The Prowler is a man of authority and a master of wit. Mistress Lanier considers him a friend. The Sun, this represents a man with authority. Mercury domicile in Virgo, this represents wit. The Prowler harbors undeclared feelings for Mistress Lanier. Moon, this represents their emotions. Okay, so... violent husband. Okay. Never mind, it's not her ex, it's her husband. She's angry at him for spending all their money on the strong drink. And so she is not performing marital duties with him. So... sure, let's go with that.
Madam, how have relations betwixt you and Mr. Lanier been of late? Does he exhibit any signs of a cruel or controlling nature? Is he prone to violence?
Aye, indeed, Dr. Forman. My husband uses uncouth words, throws my books about, and even breaks chairs when he is in a temper. All the more so after he overindulges in strong drink.
I am full sorry to hear it, madam, but it does solve our mystery. for the stars suggest that it is none other than your husband who has been prowling you.
Verily, in truth, it does not surprise me. I will to home go and tell my husband to...
Prithee, madam, for the sake of your safety, act not in haste. If confronted, your husband may do you harm.
There is truth in what you say. Forsooth, if Alfonso would spend his evenings following me about, mayhap I leave him to it. For if he hopes to catch me cuckolding him with another man, he will be exceeding disappointed.
The querent believed she was being prowled by a man and did wish to know his identity. I did advise the querent that her husband, Mr. Lanier, was her prowler. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Oh, we're getting close to that letter of rec. Mayhap Alfonso thinks I am betting Mr. S. Nay, Alfonso knows me better than that.
Hear ye, hear ye! Sir Walter Raleigh fails to find legendary treasure city.
No.
Rumours say next Raleigh voyage is to Pot of Gold at End of Rainbow. Hear ye!
I messed up. Reports have lately come in that Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World in search of El Dorado has been a colossal cluster fail. Despite Raleigh's assurances to the Queen that he would return with gold raided from the legendary city, it is said that Raleigh's ships bring back naught but potatoes. Experts predict Her Majesty's reaction be somewhat testy.
Here comes Emma, so kind is she, to the frail and aged she offers sympathy. What is she for others have? Especially when they're born of wealth. Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted is she.
Oh my gosh, I just want to take a second to appreciate now. The writing in this game is so good.
Good day to you, Mistress Sharp.
Good day, Dr. Forman. But I am Mistress Delamere now.
Mistress Delamere? But as I recall from my case notes... let me see now. 'Twas 3 years past. Aye, were you not hoping to marry a man named George Middleton?
Oh, yes. I did marry Mr. Middleton. For though I did tell my family what you said about his condition of the heart, they quite insisted that I marry him. And truly, they were full wrong to do so, for just as you predicted, Mr. Middleton did verily die of his cardiac passion, mere months after we were wed.
So soon? How very tragical.
I blame the Scotsman who took to playing his bagpipes below our bedroom window at odd hours of the day and night. Such a bothersome man. Betwixt him and the vipers Mr. Middleton discovered one morning nesting in his undergarments, I fear 'twas all too much for his poor, weak heart. Oh.
There, there, my dear lady. How distressing your late husband's death must have been for you.
Aye, indeed, Dr. Forman, so much so that my friends urged me to marry again, lest I die of grief. But now that I am once more a wife, I would not wish to be widowed anew, and John Delamere, my present husband, is also an older man. Dr. Forman, you must tell me whether there be any illness he has, whether there be anything I might do to save my dear sweet husband from an early death.
Then let us see what the stars have to say. Is Mr. John Delamere troubled with any condition that may cause him to die?
I'm nervous, you guys. I'm getting nervous now. I don't know how far in I am in the game, but ooh, these choices are getting a lot more dicey. What condition does Mr. Delamere suffer from? John Delamere does suffer from a cardiac passion. Neptune retrograde. This suggests the condition cannot be cured. John Delamere has been bewitched. Uranus. This suggests witchcraft. Pluto, this suggests the possibility of death. John Delamere is troubled with quinsy, a condition characterized by soreness in the throat. Mars in detriment in Taurus. This suggests a mild imbalance of yellow bile color. None of these are good. I don't want to keep suggesting witchcraft. And I don't want to worry her that her husband, her second husband, is going to die like the first one did.
Your husband suffers from quinsy, madam.
Oh, you mean to say he has a sore throat?
'Tis a trifle graver than that, madam, but to be sure, quinsy is not fatal. To hasten your Mr. Delamere's recovery, there is a most effective treatment that you may wish to try. A moment, prithee, madam, while I consult my medical handbook. Yes. To treat quinsy, stroke the patient's swollen throat with the hand of a fresh corpse.
I am to find a dead man's hand.
Excuse me?
And use it to stroke my husband's neck.
Aye. I do not usually offer this treatment myself, so I will direct you to a specialist. Jack Stiles, the hangman at Tyburn. Tell Mr. Stiles that Dr. Simon Forman sent you, and he will give you a fair price for a few minutes with one of the corpses.
I will be sure to. Oh, that
Gross.
is all. My husband has no grave condition that threatens his life.
Nay, madam. Aside from the quinsy, your husband appears to be in very fine health.
By my troth, how wondrous. I thank ye heartily for your reassurance, Dr. Forman. Good day.
That last part, that was my least favorite. That wasn't even a joke. That was just gross. The querent did wish to know if her husband, Mr. John Delamere, does suffer from any grave condition. I did judge Mr. Delamere as suffering from quinsy. I advised her to purchase a few minutes. I can't. I'm moving on. Take my husband to the hangings at Tyburn. How absurd. Unless... Again, is that a real thing that people did back then?
Sibyls a fine host, of this she will oft boast. She loves to entertain, though hard she does try, her dinners go awry. And in tears and shame.
Okay, it's getting pretty late where I am right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I'm honestly very surprised by this game. It has so far exceeded all of my expectations that I had for it. It's become so much more than I ever thought it could be. And I want to get my letters of recommendation. But we'll see how far we get next time. I don't even know how long I've been playing, but oh my gosh, all these characters are such a ride. So thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next time. I'm definitely going to try and keep this series going because I'm having a good time and I hope you are too. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know, let me know what you think about this game. Have you heard of it before? What's your favorite character so far? Am I going to get my medical license